Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at another knife from Sheffield, and this is a George Wostenholm. Comes in this black style, very basic box. You've got George Wostenholm over here and then their trademark IXL on the right hand side. Makers of fine knives for over 200 years, and then we have IXL, the trademark granted in 1787, and again George Wostenholm on this side, made in Sheffield, England. Knife comes wrapped in a little sort of plastic style baggie with a bit of paperwork in there, just a bit of information about the companies, what companies are owned by it. And you can see there's a list on the back here, the different ones: Ibison, Rogers Wostenholm, Rogers, Wostenholm, John Clark and Son, and all their sort of trademarks on the back there, which is quite cool to see. So you got like the violin, the Star and the Maltese Cross, I Cut My Way, Double Sharp, and the IXL. Now this knife was picked up from Jane at the famous Sheffield shop. Wonderful lady, she's fantastic to deal with, super friendly. Actually went up there with Mikey and Sean. I've been out there with just Mikey as well. We had a fantastic time, picked up some superb knives. Now this is one that I picked up very recently, so I sort of rang up, asked if she had any left. She said yes, so I just grabbed it. But this is George Wostenholm Red Jigged Bone Stockman. I mean, just look at this thing. The jigging on it. So you've got brass pins, I believe they are, holding this bone on. So you've got the nice deep dark red colour in the middle, out to the sort of a lighter red, down to the natural sort of white colour of the bone. We have nickel silver bolsters that are slightly pinched on either side. But absolutely beautiful. I love this thing. I've also got a two-bladed version, which is just the main blade and the spey. We'll see that at a different time. But I just can't get over the jigging. The transitions are perfect. You cannot feel any of these pins at all. And they've done a fantastic job getting that pin sort of to the point where it's not super visible, or be able to feel it into that jigging as well, because that's quite a hard thing to do. Back, again, you can see it's very well colour matched to the front. A little bit more red in this side, but you still get it going out to that nice white colour on the edges. So you've got that nice groove going through the middle as well. Again, nickel silver, nothing fancy about it, just a nice working knife. On the back, we have brass liners and the steel springs, and you can see there's not a gap on there at all. Absolutely beautiful fit and finish, and you can see how well that's polished on there as well. They did a great job on this one. So it's standard Stockman pattern, so you get the 3 blades. Fortunately, this one does have a little bit of blade rub, where the Sheepsfoot does rub on the clip blade. You can see it just about here, but I mean, that's pretty normal for most Stockmans. But let's take a look at some specs. So we'll take a look at a closed length of this, and I believe it's right around the 4-inch mark closed. Let's have a little look. Yeah, pretty much bang on 4 inches closed. So a standard sort of large, sort of medium to large Stockman size. We have the main clip point blade on here. So you've got the IXL George Wostenholm Sheffield, England on this side, and then stainless steel on the reverse. And you get that beautiful long pull on there, wonderful mirror polished blade, a little bit of a swedge up there, and a nice sort of fine edge on the bottom, but this thing is razor sharp. You see where that rub is a little bit on the back side of the knife here. A little bit of swedging this side as well, but a very sort of delicate style clip. You can see that it goes down to a nice point on there as well. Massive fan of this knife. I think it's absolutely superb. It's tight, there's no wobble, the lockup's good. When I say lockup, I mean the snap on the open. A little bit lighter than you get for some of the newer ones, but still plenty of snap. I'd say it's about a 5.5 to a 6, but when you're choked up in that kick, I've got no concerns at all with this thing closing on me. But let's take a look at some blade measurements. So we have a full blade length tip to tang of, is that right about 3 inches? Put it on top there. Looks like it's just over 3 inches, but the cutting edge is under 3 inches. So as far as the law is concerned, as for me anyway, this is definitely going to be UK legal. So that is the master clip blade. We have a Sheepsfoot blade on there, pretty much the same pull strength as on the main blade. You can see that on there, wonderful polished finish. Nice little edge on there, and I do prefer the smaller, higher angle edges. I feel like they do last a little bit longer. Got the S stamp on the back designating stainless steel. Nice little profile on that blade. Little nail nick on there as well. Really nice action. A little bit soft on the close maybe, but still got a nice snap on the open. Affirmative. Overall, very happy with this knife. I mean, it's fantastic. For me, this is more a bit of a history. Now, I do use this knife, but it's not one that I use very often. It's sort of a special carry, we'll say. But the Sheepsfoot blade, fantastic. Nice little kick. It sits up there nicely. It's not too exposed, so that when you've got the main blade out, you're not properly trapped on that. It's not causing you any sort of pain or hurt or anything like that. But I know some of the knives, they can be exposed a bit far, and this does dig in, but you don't get that with this one. Let's take a look at the blade length then of the Sheepsfoot. Full blade length of, what's that, 2.25, and then a cutting edge of 2 inches. So again, UK legal, not going to have any problems with that at all. And then the Spey blade is shorter again, I think it's about 1.75, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Bit of a different looking Spey on this, I will say. It's not the most attractive for me, but I can't change it. I could grind it to a pen blade if I wanted to, but that would ruin the knife for me, so I've just pretty much just left it. But you can see you've got that where it sort of gets to about the middle of the nail neck and it starts to go down, and then you get the very steep swoop like you would get on a lamb's foot right at the very end. And you can see we've got a nice little edge on here as well. Wonderful mirror polish. Nothing on either of these tangs, but this blade is razor sharp. Length for that one then, we are looking at just over 1 3/4, and then a cutting edge of about 1.5. So again, yeah, the smaller of the blades, but even more UK legal. And this is one that's not really going to cause any sort of head turning. It's more, people see this and think it's more, it's more of something to talk about, a talking point, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Nothing about this says threatening to me whatsoever. When I see a knife like this, I think art compared to a weapon. But, there's always those sorts of people out there, but that's what we have to deal with in the UK. But this knife is absolutely superb. I pretty much fell in love with this when I saw it. I knew I was going to have to get it, and it would be coming home with me at some point. But there we go, guys. That is my review of a George Wostenholm Stockman, and that is in the red jigged bone. Now, I do have the model number here for you as well. GWL. Or GW1, sorry, so that's George Wostenholm 133JB for jigged bone. And of course, one of these three stands for stock for 3 blades. I'm not sure. I think it might be the 13 pattern with 3 blades. I think that might be it. And the POL is for polished blades. But I really hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.